as trail makers. And I today am going to make a indestructible car, at least as long as it lands on its bottom wheels. Like, I'm gonna make it to where if it lands, it ain't gonna break. It's gonna be so unbreakable, it's unbreakable. As long as it lands on its wheels correctly. And I've actually been planning a little bit on this design and how I'm going to do it. And I finally think I know what to do, and it's called spam the crap out of suspension. That is my final idea, and this is actually going to be a 2.0 project of my original project where I did something similar, but that previous one didn't work too great. Like, it could barely survive a fall from the top of the ramp here. You can't see it, but it's there. You can't see it. Alright. That seems okay. Actually, no, I'm going to do something else. For every single wheel, since I know this is going to be a very tall vehicle due to the amount of suspension, and like the fact I'm already going to make the frame a bit tall, I'm going to put an engine at the bottom of each wheel, so that way it still gets fast, but it's not going to flip anytime you turn. I mean, I hope not. And that's another obstacle, is how am I going to make it turn. I mean, I already learned how to do this with my previous model, which I just called the monster truck because it was very tall and I had a decently sized tire, so I just called it the monster truck. And sure, it could handle being dropped and stuff, but not nearly to the expectations that I would have liked. I was trying to think of another way to say it while I was saying it, but 1x2, take you. There we go. Now I'm just gonna take that over here. I might make the wheels bigger on this one too. Actually, I think I'll make the back slowly lower. Also, I'm going to put a bit more up where it's actually, no, I'm going to keep it here so it doesn't smush through the frame. And I think this is a pretty good baseline, so I'm just going to copy it, paste it, flip it. Does that work? Kind of. Yeah, that works. I just need to do that. Now, let's make sure that that's still spinning the right way. That's not. I don't know why they would even make that an option, but they did. And so now what? I'm definitely making the wheels bigger on this thing. This thing needs bigger wheels. That's a bit too big. That's... I bet you the only way I can go bigger is by doing the... Oh, I can do a spiked wheel. So that's gonna be what I... Should I? Nah. I don't think so. So now it's got a bunch of suspension. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. I swear, if this build is this simple, I'm gonna be so sad. Because, like, I planned on it being this big, enormous, cool project that would take me a while. Like, a few hours at least. But if it's this easy, I'm gonna be happy, but, like, at the same time, I'm gonna be slightly sad because I was looking forward to doing this project. I think this will be where it gets hard. And I don't know if I like that. Should I put reinforcement? Yeah, I'm going to put a reinforcement hinge. And how am I going to do that? So now they're both facing the same way. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste it up here. So now it's got a reinforcement. So, this is it so far. Should I make the sea indestructible? Nah. I usually do, and it does not help. This might just become an... Oh my gosh, it's lagging so much. Okay, I also learned something. Apparently, that was the right direction. I just mirrored all the controls. Alright, let's try this. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was top heavy. You even heard me mention that. So instead of me just lowering the power to make it even slower, I'm just going to select all suspension blocks. I'm going to make the stiffness like 0.10 and the damping 1. So now it's still super top heavy, and I think it might be because of these, and it's just a suspicion, but it is. Okay, I'm just gonna lower that into there. Now, what will fit best in that empty void of nothingness for this? Oh, well, this does fine. Impressively. I wasn't expecting that at all. I honestly wasn't expecting it to be that easy. I feel like I'm going to say that about this entire project here really soon, which I'm not exactly looking forward to. Ooh, yeah, it's a aerodynamic nightmare. Ooh. I'll just call it the nightmare. How's that? Okay, that's somewhat helped. Now, it's somewhat aerodynamically sane now. Not completely, but somewhat. 4x1 is what I'll need. That helped out with a bunch of the aerodynamics. It didn't help out with the lower aerodynamics, which is going to be just as easy to fix because you literally just need to... Oh, never mind. I thought it would have been... Hold up. Are the wheels out of sync? If I move it... No, the wheels are in sync. It's just the engines. Okay, cool. And I know why. It's because I put them all the way in one direction. They're just gonna have to... I'm gonna move these two back then. Oh. Well, why didn't it work here? Oh. I know. Okay, I guess that works too. Let's see how you drive now. It definitely has a little bit of a problem with balance still. So stiffness 0.1, damping 1. There we go. That helped it, definitely. For the most part, I guess. Let's try and take it on the ultimate test of, first off, not flipping, and second off, of just in general driving like this. Ready? The first test is obviously going to be this ramp. Can I cross a river? I actually got close and I only got minorly damaged. That's a step in the right direction. But that isn't a step in the... Oh my gosh. Oh my lord. Hold on. There's chickens. I like to practice. The suspension survived. That's good. Is this suspension over here? Yes, the suspension appears to be perfectly fine. It's just the entire rest of the car that isn't. And I already have a, what I think I can call solution to this. And it's called more suspension. And I'm not joking when I say that. I can literally just... Well, maybe... Actually, I can put it there. I just put it through here. And guess what? It doesn't damp. It just absorbs shock. At least if the physics of this game work how I think they do. No, it just causes my car to bounce back whenever it hits. And that isn't good. Because wait a second. Uh-oh. I'm just gonna have to select that entire... Select all these. Stiffness can be to the max and damping can be high. I consider 1 pretty high. And it still just bounces, but at least this time it saved the part that the damping, the whatever you want to call it, the crooked suspension, I'm just gonna call it, survived. Woohoo! I definitely need to fix that, and there was a way easier fix I could have done outside of just making it less top heavy. It's called turning down the steering angle. I'm just going to turn it down by 10 degrees. Oops, that's a little too much. I ended up giving myself more work. Speed, I'm also going to slightly lower it. So now I shouldn't flip. I take that back. Can I save myself? Come on, wiggle over. Wiggle over. I say, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Do-do-do-do. That didn't work. And I know why. Because there's another one right below it that I completely forgot about. it still steers at basically the same angle. It didn't help at all. All it did was prolong the imminent crashing. And also, I could fix this, but it's not going to be as slim. And it's just by putting the damping suspension on there. Because what I did on my X-Wing, if you saw that video, which I don't think you did, because like, why would you watch it? But if you did watch that, you would know I put the suspension sideways on the underside of my, I guess you could call it beak. I don't know what to call it, because it's 10:19 p.m. and I've been up all day. So I put it like that so whenever I landed, it wouldn't just cause that entire front half to cause me to like dig into the ground, flip, and lose that, and then bounce in the air and crash. It didn't happen to me, but I knew it would by how I knew the control system worked. Like, do you know how the physics engine worked? Would be a better way of saying that. And so I'm gonna try and use the damping suspension. I keep on calling it damping suspension, but it's not. So I'm just gonna hope that this somehow helps. Let's see. So oops. All the suspension survived. Okay. What if I just had a bunch of suspension in the front? Oh wow, that actually works surprisingly well. I was not expecting that at all, to be honest. Configurator. Stiffness can be next to none, and damping can be pretty good. Pretty high. Bop. Bop. Okay. Let's see. I'm just gonna make the stiffness 0. So whenever I crash, instead of it like trying to resist, it just flat out bends in with it. What? You know what? I'm just gonna do it the way that I did it on my X-Wing, where I just put a bunch of suspension in front of the aerodynamic parts. I love hearing that noise. It just sounds nice, if you ask me. Oh my gosh, am I really frying this processor just by doing this and messing with suspension? It has to calculate when I hit it, how much will this take up? Am I really using the suspension that much? I was gonna say, oh my gosh, what happened? Did I break the processor that bad? But I didn't, luckily. I'm gonna make the stiffness 0 and the damping 1. Because now, since there's a greater quantity, 1 means a lot. And yet, I still have everything broken off in an instant. Can I go up steep surfaces? Yes, I can. Whoa, 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 whoa. Woo! Ooh, ah, That gives me an idea. I don't know why I just got this idea now, but at least I had it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a bunch of pistons up here and down there, and I'm gonna make it all. Oh wait, let me select all of them. And I'm going to make it to where they have like a fast kick, and their starting position, it will be 0, and they'll automatically reset. And in case you're wondering why I didn't just make them all do the same thing, here's why. Ready? Because I don't want to press a button and just make me like launch into the sky and come back down and break all of these. Instead, I want to make it to where if I press, so if I'd be on this side and I was upside down, and I just wanted to flip back the way I was, I would press L1. But if I was on this side, I'd press R1. So ready? Watch. Let me get into a wide open area, because I don't think this will work anywhere else. Whoop! It'd be funny if I landed it. So apparently, I'm gonna have to make them all. Oh wait, let me just go out this way. I'm gonna have to make them all a little faster. I'll bring it up to 20. Oh wow, I rolled. I have a better idea on how to flip. There we go. And I swear, if I get flipped back up right before I get a chance to try this out, I'm going to be enormous sad. Alright, here's another thing I gotta do now. One by two. 1x2. Don't I have a 1x4 somewhere? Yes, I do. Oh, great. Now I gotta rebuild this one. Well, I could just spam a bunch of 1x3s, and that's what I'm gonna do. Yes. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, good. So now I'm perfectly stuck. Wanna try? I flipped! It took a few tries, but I did. Also, I'm probably gonna have to... I'm just gonna move it down here, because there's an open spot. I could have done that earlier, but I just chose not to. Nice copy. I just copy everything up one, except for that apparently. There we go. That should be better. What broke? Oh wow, it perfectly broke my pistons. L1, 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 L1. Alright, so now everything's good. And while I'm at it, I was trying to make this like a 2-second thing, but it's turning out to take a long time. I was trying to make this as quick and easy as possible, but since it's gonna work like this, see that? I did a wheelie. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna destroy my vehicle just trying to get it to flip upright. I said flip. Flip! Oh my gosh, it's not going to flip. So, that idea didn't work. You know what, I'm just gonna do that. And I'm glad that this project's finally reached a point of kind of difficulty. That's cool. Because I wanted that. It would have been boring if I literally said copy and paste 4 parts and then I was done. What if instead I selected... Oh wow. Okay. Stiffness is always going to be 1 and damping. Oh wait a second, that was the wrong thing. damping is always going to be 1, and stiffness is going to be none. Ooh! I saved it. We lost it. There we go. Woohoo! Let me land it. I was really trying to avoid doing this option, but I'm just gonna make it turn very, very wide. And I'm gonna make it super slow. That isn't bad. Now it is. Stiffness is none. Look at my frame rates drop. Whoa! I still have all my wheels. I consider that... Oops, I accidentally pressed the home button. But I consider that a decent amount of success. And oh my gosh, I kept my wheels from that. That's a bigger success than my previous one. And I'm still running? Oh my gosh, this thing's even better than my... Like, all my previous cars that I attempted to do this on, which is only one. Bam. You see this? This is one car, I tell you what. I'm gonna steer like that. Do you know what this means? Not war, but instead it means I put suspension, just raw suspension below the seat. Nothing else, but just suspension. That's the only logical thing to do, is suspension on top of suspension on top of more suspension. That's the only logical explanation, is suspension. It survived that. I survived that! Do you know what I'm thinking? Ready? I'm actually gonna keep that. It's called suspension in the back. I'm just gonna make this thing suspension. There's gonna be so much suspension, this game's only gonna be able to run at 1 frame per minute. That's how much suspension is going to be on this. what if I put suspension here? So anytime I flip, I got protection. Why is it jittering? Oh well. Now, I got suspension on the top, suspension on the front and back. I got suspension on the below. Only thing I don't have it on my sides yet. That's the only place I don't have just suspension. And I love it, to be honest. It's gonna be called the Suspense Mobile. Oh no! How could I live with this? Oh my gosh, it survived. I should have done this in the first place. I now know how I'm gonna make the anti-flip system. I can't put it there. And it was quite a simple idea I didn't think of. Oh well. So all I'm gonna do is that. And one more thing is, nope, not here. All I'm gonna do is put that here. What the heck was that? And now I have my anti-roll system once I do that. Actually, wait. There we go. So now let me practice. If I flip, this is just what if occasion. You know, it's kind of hard to flip now because I've done so much to prevent flipping. But it always somehow happens. Let me hope. Yes, it worked. I'm a genius at breaking physics in games. That's just what I do. Aw, man. My car exploded. And it happens sometimes, you know, cars just do that. But I don't think I remember cars having parts of themselves, like, actually, no, wait, yeah. That happens occasionally on, like, the Jeep and stuff, but, sometimes there's just no stopping that. And why is my camera, like, doing whatever it's doing? I'm just gonna put that here. What is happening to my game? I'm breaking it. That's what I think I've officially gotten to the point where it's snapping. Yes, I have gotten to the point where it's snapping. Because look at my processor, it's fried from how much suspension on top of suspension I put on my suspension. The suspense mobile is almost complete. I feel like the back's a little too much. Maybe if, because I don't want my processor being fried, but like it's so great. I don't know if I want to get rid of it. I know how to keep it for the most part. I'm gonna get rid of a few pieces, but it's gonna be for the most part there. I don't know how it's staying attached, even though I literally don't have anything connected to it. So I'm gonna have to get rid of this, this, but in return, I just move everything in, so that way it's not sticking out. There we go. Also, put that there. Yeah, I did it! Even though the entire reason why I put so much suspension back there was to protect this connection point, which actually isn't even connected to the vehicle in any way. I just noticed that. Oh man, here's how I gotta fix it. I gotta get rid of more of the suspension, and I'm upset about that. And now I go into the tubes and I get a 1x1. Same over here. And that's just it. What is it doing? Is the exhaust not working? Ooh, 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 ooh. See, that just saved my vehicle there. The insane amount of suspension I've put on it is finally working out. And due to... oh my gosh, due to the insane amount of suspension I put on it and the fact the game's physics are now broken from how many of these I've put, it's starting to just fix itself. Hold on, wait, I gotta flip it still. There we go. And due to how much suspension I got rid of, it's like way lighter and easier to flip. I didn't really jump. Okay. Do you know what I think I might do? I might do something daring. And that's called... do I want nitro? Or just more in general power? I'll have both, please. Oh, nope. Maybe. Oh, I see. There's no room for that there. Excuse me. But why? Okay, I was gonna say, why aren't there any attachment points there? Also, do I use a... I can't use a raw jet engine, so I'm just gonna use a Dragon Jet, which in my opinion is the best thruster in the game. I mean, it's not actually statistically wise, but it's the one that lasts a while, and it's the best long-lasting. So now I have a crazy fast, unbreakable monster truck. That can spin in the air like a ballerina. And I actually landed that. Okay, I never thought I'd say that, but it's too fast. I mean, I've said it before, but like, I rarely ever say it. That's all I'm gonna say. Propel me to victory! No! Yes! Kind of! Ah! Oh! No! What? What are you doing? I mean, you survived, but... no! Also, wait. How fast can this propel me with just one? It can't move me. Actually, it's starting to. It's starting to get me moving. 7 miles per hour. Let's just cut it off there. So, it can move slow. Super slow. And it's still going to move just, if not barely slower with these. And I actually can't put more unless I use the mini jets. So if I just overload the bottom with a bunch of them, that shouldn't there make it heavier on the bottom? Let it get faster. Oh man, I was hoping the suspension on the top would have barely saved me. Why is it still running? Stiffness to the max. Damping to the max. Well, actually, no, not to the max, but like nearly. Like half as much. Actually, you know what? I should do this with all of them. I should make them all have like 1.5 damping because oh no, it's gonna break the game. 506. I'm frying my processor, and I didn't. All right, there we go. Stiffness 0, 0. It should be to the max. To the max. And to the max. I would like to know what the heck is still running. I'm just gonna leave it. Let's hope I can leave it. I can. Woohoo! Can I land it? No, I can't. I actually lost a wheel for the first time in history. At least on this car. I usually always lose wheels on my other cars. This is my new stunt car, probably. Because it's suspension coated inboard suspension with like a hint of suspension. With a additive condiment of suspension. Like, look at it. It's a brick surrounded by suspension. That's all I can say. Can I fly through it? No, I can't. Okay. And here's an idea. Instead of having all the rockets being on the bottom, let's put one or two, or you know, like maybe 3 on the back. Also, you know what? I'm gonna put some spoilers on this thing. It doesn't need them, but it's gonna have them. I think it actually, it could use them. Now that I think about it. One spoiler ain't gonna do it. Well, 2 technically, but like I consider them as pretty big spoilers. There we go. Now with all these jets, I can flip a lot easier. And wow, I didn't lose a single part in that roll. Also, I think the back could actually use some stiffness. The back could use like 1.1 stiffness on each suspension, and this is gonna take a decent amount of time. Actually, it shouldn't take too long. I just gotta select 8 parts for each wheel. Actually, no, wait, it's like more like 12, I think. So I got to grab you now. I can still hear that engine. Why is the engine running? Better go catch it. I'm just gonna stop now. I'm just gonna stop talking now. I just gotta. So now it should have the stiffness of like a piece or two of suspension. But it doesn't need any more because I don't feel like putting any more stiffness in there because, you know, it's probably worth more like 2 because of how many I have. Actually, I have 3, 6, I have 10 pieces of suspension, which means, oh my gosh, I've learned how to maneuver this camera. Oh wow, I actually maneuvered that camera real good, apparently. So now I just move, not that, I move the jet engine. I move my jet-powered monster truck right here. There we go. Let's see. Oh wait, I haven't finished it yet. I think I've finished all of them except for that third and final one, which means I'll just click you. So if there's 10, actually let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's the equivalent of just one suspension, well, one stiffness. So it's the equivalent of having one piece of suspension in the entire back. And so that helped, to say the least. I'm gonna do that instead. There we go. And oh yeah, what if I put a sideways spoiler? Will that help at all? I mean, I guess I'll find out, won't I? Oh my. What? Wait. I'm just gonna put even more spoilers, because this thing needs a lot of downforce, I can tell you what. And why is that engine still running? I'm gonna go find it and shut. Whoa. Was that? Oh. It's just that. Okay, I'm just gonna put even more spoilers instead. That completely confused me for a second. That left me dumbfounded. Uh-oh. Haha, it didn't... I'll speak once it's finished flipping. Hold on, wait, I gotta... Can the helicopter engine still flip it over? Yes, it can. Alright, sweet, I'm back up. Now I can fly. Can I, though? Yes, I can. It's the flying... It's actually a flying monster truck. I never thought I would hear of such a thing. But I'm probably gonna have to just save this thing as it is and get back to it later once the processor has cooled down, because that only appears when the processor is hot and it's finally starting to give up. So, I'm just going to name it Prototype. Prototype. Because it's doing pretty good so far. But, I mean, I'm just going to have to delete this for now. I'm just going to have to bop. Because the processor is dying now. And I just got new thermal paste on it, so I don't really feel like having it, like, die out now. I know it wouldn't, because, like, PS4 would probably be better than that. At least I hope. Also, fun fact about my computer. It got here. I've already told you guys. Only reason I'm still playing on my PS4 is because I was hoping I could, in theory, use some of my money to buy some of the games, because I was going to have the PC paid off for me, because it was taking me a while. Like, it took me since late 5th grade to the next grade, and I don't know why, but my parents just finally bought me it. But they did take my money, because they weren't going to just buy me a brand new $600 computer without my $450 reimbursement. And I think I might know why. It's because of my dad's other channel. Well, my dad's channel, which is actually the good one that you should go visit, called Fleek Tech or Fleek Bots, I don't know. But, like, it's a really cool thing where he does a bunch of 3D animation. And that computer I was saving up for was modern. All of his computers, his nicest one was one that my grandma didn't want anymore, and I thought that was funny. His best computer is a grandma's computer. I always make fun of him for that. But anyways, my computer had something that grandma's computer didn't. And it was an AMD chip. And sure, you would be impressed that my dad would think a Ryzen 3 3600 gigahertz is better than an Intel iCore 7, because it isn't. Oh, instead, I think the reason why he thinks my chip is better is because it's more set up for that, or it's just the fact that Ryzen is more focused on raw performance, and he thinks because of that, all of a sudden his Intel chips are a piece of turd compared to this great new savior AMD, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, it can be if you spend enough money, but that processor I have came out in like 2005 or something. It came out a long time ago, like 2005 to 2010. And his came out in 2017, and I don't know why he thinks all of a sudden mine's gonna be the god computer to save everything. But anyways, after rambling about that, I'm gonna be getting a graphics card for my computer here really soon. So maybe then I can have graphics good enough that you are able to watch it, because right now I'm just gonna use a Fortnite as an example, because like I load up Fortnite, pull it on creative, and leave sometimes because it's getting towards the end of the season. I want to get that last boost of XP. Speaking of which, I'm going to go do soon because, duh. So, I have to make sure the PC doesn't get hot, turn the resolution down as far as Fortnite will let me take the resolution, turn down the 3D resolution as far as you can, turn down all the graphics, turn on performance mode, and do everything I can just to make sure my PC doesn't, like, get too hot or anything. And also, if I'm actually playing the game and I were to turn up the graphics, even when I'm using the what the heck is my controller doing? It's like jittering and it's causing it to flicker. But even then, the graphics are terrible. Like, if I even keep the graphics on that, it still occasionally stutters and can't keep up. So my dad, realizing that, is going to get me a graphics card, but it's no like GTX 3090 or whatever you want to say. It's more of a cheap computer, like cheap graphics card, because why would you spend hundreds of dollars on something that's just meant for your son to use as a temporary fix until he's actually able to afford his own graphics card? Pull up. Yeah, this was the X-Wing build I was talking about. And in case you're wondering why that back piece is flickering, it's because the raw jet engines, if you leave them on for a long amount of time, I'll show you, right? They overheat and you have to wait for them to do that. So what I do instead is I just make it flicker in such a way to where it never runs out, and I put it at such a way to where it doesn't just like be a dead weight and like only flickers every now and then to give you a small boost of speed like every 10 minutes. I put it in such a way to where it gives me enough boost that it keeps me at a high speed, but like it doesn't like overheat. Also, this thing was an engineering nightmare. Also, a fun fact about this: out of the 62 blocks, only 4 of these are for cosmetic. That entire thing is made of parts that are contributing something to the X-Wing. I won't get into as much detail as I did in the other video, but if you want to check out that other video where I worked my butt off on explaining how much of a pain it was to get it to work, because, I mean, look at the X-Wing. Do you think it would ever really work in real life? Just look. You see that? The wings are in the back. They're not even, like, towards the center where actual things would be. Anyways, that was what Fortnite, or part of it was. If outside of that, it was pretty okay. Also, balance was a pretty hard part of it. But, anyways, at this point, I suggest you stop watching because I'm done messing with my, because I'm done building. I'm just gonna fly around I'm gonna fly around builds that don't take up as much processing power because they're pretty simple for the most part. So, if you were only watching for the monster truck, which I don't even know if you would be watching this, click on it. Okay. My brain died for a second. But I was gonna tell you something else, like, so you know how I mentioned I put suspension in such a way to where the hood would bend in rather than just breaking? Here's that hold on, wait. Here's that suspension right here. Also, wait, I'm gonna actually edit this. Damping 1, and I'm gonna turn down that stiffness because... Actually, no, I can turn that back up. So now, I have the equivalent of putting 1 suspension at max, which is definitely not smart for how much pressure I'm gonna put on in this. But this seems actually pretty durable, even though it doesn't seem like it. Like, whenever I'm not recording and I crash into a mountain, it just bounces off usually. But like the moment I start recording, the funny thing is the moment I even like partially bump the ground, the entire thing just explodes and burns and destructs itself just by like flying. And it looks like a glass cannon even though it isn't. And that's the funny part about making videos, is everything works fine until you try and like show it off to everybody. And then you're like, look at what I did, look at how well it... Oh, it doesn't work anymore. But, I'm not too mad about that. Ooh, come on, steer out of the trees. You know, I'm not gonna deal with that, I'm just gonna... I wish there was some sort of way to reverse this, but there isn't. So, let's turn this baby right round. Da, 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 da. Yes. So, I could in theory have these pulses last even longer if I wanted to, because like I'm watching it cool down, which would be a good idea, but then I risk having it just like, get too hot. Pull up, see, oh, come on, oh, I didn't realize where I was. The funny thing is, it could probably still fly. Just turn off. You choose now to blow up. Of course. Now I'm just gonna do a tour of my blueprints, which I have, if you couldn't tell, a lot of blueprints. Oh yeah, this one's probably one of my favorites. Oh. I like the mini. I chose to make this one because this is one of my dad's favorite cars. I just figured I'd make it for him. And I now think I could make an upgraded and better version of this, because I made this like a week after buying the game, and it's been a few months of me just... Wait, am I still on air? Okay, good. The game froze. I think it's because I'm finally burning the processor and it's slowing itself down a lot. So, I think I know a way I can make the Mini Cooper better. Because right now it's actually pretty garbage. The suspension isn't stiff enough, I don't think. Honestly, I don't even think I knew what the stiffness was at that time. I thought that damping meant it would be harder to push down, and stiffness meant it would absorb the shock. Like, I was that dumb when I first bought the game. And that was at the beginning of 6th grade, which is kind of funny. Because I don't know how I got those two mixed up. I thought damping like meant like putting it at angles, that way it would like be able to bend in better or something. I don't remember. Like, you could see how I could say that. Like, damping could mean putting it at an angle, but you know. Oh, we're getting something. But can I tell you what would be the best thing to do if you bought this game? I started off with the bandit car. I'm pretty sure. Actually, no. I started off in the danger zone with. I'm pretty sure, like a cannon car or something. And then I built my own car, which is actually pretty fast, ironically, because I built that one just like randomly. Like I put random aerodynamics on it that weren't even needed, and I put a bunch of engines. And I actually left it how it is, outside of the fact that I changed its paint job, because I don't like the paint job. And once I did that, that vehicle is probably one of the best vehicles I have, at least talking from the car perspective. But anyways, the best air vehicles I probably have are the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter that I built. Next up, this is probably the most daring thing I could ever do, is build the Millennium Falcon. And in case you're wondering, well, that couldn't be that bad. First off, the Millennium Falcon, I'd have to make it really big, which means I would need better hardware than the PS4. So that means I have to find a way to make it smaller and make it work better, because if it's smaller, it's not going to work as good. Because I need a big, like, open area in the Millennium Falcon. First off, because the gimbal jets need to be towards the top, so that way whenever it starts floating, it doesn't just, like, drift freely like it's in 0G, and you just, like you just tossed some, like, you just turned on 0G, and if you tapped it. Because I've attempted doing something like that, and I figured out it didn't work too great. I thought it would just cost. I delete myself upright. I'm gonna try and spam delete. Oh great, the game's still frozen. I was gonna show you. I was gonna make a quick example, which would have literally just been me building a 4x8, a 4x8, a 4x8, a 4x8, and a 4x8. Put gimbal jets all the way through it, and you would have saw how it floated. Like, everything just turned on in 0G. Well, it technically wouldn't, because it would just be rising up. But, like, it would all be rising up, but it wouldn't, like, stay in one direct position if I had other parts on it. But if I turned it on with only the gimbal jets in the top of it, it would have stayed upright. I was going to show that to you, but... I just realized something. I could have done that for the longest time and everything would have been easier. Oh well, I'll save that idea. Definitely. And in case you're wondering what I just thought, this is the most basic thought I never thought of. I actually did think of it once, but I never really put it to the test, but now I'm finally going to do it. And what that idea was to put a bunch of positive gimbal jets, and then the gimbal jets have an option to make it to where it does the exact opposite, where it'll try and push you down to the ground, which I've actually used before. But that was just to show off that I can make a weight without actually using weights. I don't even know why I did that. I just wanted to say, hey, look what I can do by not doing the way you would think it. But at this point, it's just kind of like talk. And I know nobody's gonna watch this far into the video. And if you do, oh my gosh, how do you do it? But anyways, I am going to show off how bad the Mini Cooper is. Then Well, at least the Mini Cooper I built, the actual Mini Cooper that we do have is actually a pretty fun car. You know, it's fast. You don't really. It's not like the kind of fast where it takes your stomach away. I mean, it can, but like, you only do that if you wanted it to. Unlike some fast cars now, where if you just like lightly tap the pedal, you're all of a sudden like zipping away into speed. I'm going to reboot this channel basically. I'm going to leave this channel online, so if anybody finds it, good for them. Yay. You found a bunch of poo-poo content. But, you know how like YouTube's been shadow banning people, like they have been like flat out saying, yeah, you've been dead, son. Rather than them saying that, they just secretly take away you being recommended, and that's kind of what's happened to my dad. And since my dad created my account and stuff, I'm not really being shown to other people. Maybe it's because in my earlier streams, all I really did was just like cuss a lot out of anger and stuff. That may be a reason, but since my dad's been like shadow banned for being a Christian, I feel like I might, since I was under that like supervision of him, like he's like the admin account, I feel like I'm being shadow banned as well, just for being a sub account. And so I'm going to test this theory out by making an account not even close to being related to him. I'm going to make my own new account. I'm going to name it. I'm not going to really say what name it's going to. Actually, you know what? I'm going to call it J Gaming with only a J. Like, it's not Jay, like I put it in here. It's just going to be J. And if that one gets popular, and I'm just doing the same stuff I always do, then I can confirm YouTube's shadow banning me. But my next two streams, which are probably going to be like my next to final streams, and it's going to be of this game because like this game's fun. I love this game because I like engineering. I like fixing it. I can't really do like the things I do with this game because I do have like Legos and stuff, and I did have like those K'NEX roller coasters, and those were all fun and stuff, but those you can't do as much as you can do with this game. Like, it feels like it's giving you a whole new like playground. Like, you still have that original playground, but like now, like you still have that original part, but next to, like, in the same area, like within 2 foot of it, you had this brand new whole like utopia, like roller coasters and water slides and pools and whatever you can think of that you like. But there is one thing that you can do with Lego and K'NEX that you can't do with this. And it's feel it, or touch it, or be able to control it by using your hands, not just through a controller, but like actually moving it with your hands. Because it's not real. So that's the only reason I don't play it as much. But what I plan on doing is instead of saving up for upgrades on my computer, which I'm probably gonna do after this, because like why wouldn't I do that? Is I'm going to save up for a dirt cheap 3D printer. And when I say dirt cheap, I mean like not the world's cheapest, but the pretty close. Because like I know you're able to get the world's cheapest 3D printer for like $90, but it can barely print like a stick straight. Like if you like made like a cube and made it long into a rectangle, it would like apparently like bend it and stuff. So it's no good. But I'd get pretty close to that. Like it's not gonna be as curved, at least. But I'm definitely getting a 3D printer. That just would be the funnest thing I would mess with. Sure, I'm gonna have a challenge with making 3D models, but oh well. I'm gonna make a wide range of things. I'm gonna make figures, I'm gonna make contraptions, I'm gonna make toys. And when I say toys, there's one thing I've seen that's been really cool looking, that's in a bunch of games, but it's never been really made in real life, and it's called Ragdoll. And Sugar, in case you're one of the smartouts that are like, well, yeah, ragdolls are a thing. Have you ever like seen those dolls that are made of a bunch of cloths and stuff? That's a ragdoll. I'm talking about like the flop kind of ragdolls. And sure, you can get ragdolls that do that if like they're not very stuffed. But like, I would make one that was plastic that when you dropped it, here would be my design. And I don't care. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. I'm not gonna say the design. But I would sell it for $5. And the design would be simple, strong, and effective. I'm still waiting for this mini cube to be placed. Have I really made the processor that hot? Hold on, wait, let me feel my PS4. Oh my gosh, that is hot. I accidentally put my sticker that I got from my Cosmo on top of exactly where the processor was. I didn't even do that on purpose. I just randomly slapped it on. I was like, there. But now if I feel that sticker, I can feel the exact temperature of the actual processor. And oh my gosh, it's so hot, I think the sticker might melt. Actually, no, it's actually melted into the texture. I was actually right. Oh my gosh, it perfectly feels like the texture of the PS4. That's scary. I don't like that. Like, it's actually melted to the texture of the PS4. Yet somehow it's kept the same picture. So that's cool. That means like it's never gonna come off. Oh yeah, by the way, like I mentioned Cosmo, it was a really cool idea that I loved. I deleted the app one day because I was low on storage and I just did that. And apparently, when I went to go re-download it, that company went bankrupt and stopped all the apps and everything. Which meant I now have the remnants of a fun robot. That thing was fun. It had facial recognitions and stuff. Like it recognized your voice, I think. It's kind of like a, although this is a weird way of framing it, it was kind of like a real life Nintendog, if you would say. And those were basically virtual pets that would listen to your voice commands that you could pet. You could feed it, which you actually did. You could play with it, which you also could. You could, well, this is one thing that Cosmo could do that the Nintendogs couldn't, and it was, you could control like a remote control car with a camera, and that was probably my favorite part about it. I just loved that, because I've always liked the idea of having remote control stuff that has like a camera on it that you can actually see in real time, because it's like, ooh, I'm a spy, but it's just fun. I'm trying to be a bit more enthusiastic, but what time is it now? It's 11:30 and it's still loading. And if you've made it this far, I would give you a cookie if I could. I do have cookies right now, but I couldn't reach for my screen and give it to you. Also because I'm only a voice that is speaking to you. Oh, I might actually fall asleep. That'd be a funny thing to do while I'm on stream. Only reason I'm still awake is because of the insane amount of caffeine I drank. Is there any more left? There's a little. There it is. Oh my god. What the heck is taking this so long? I almost just passed out from how long I've been waiting. I think I've been waiting for almost an hour now. I think the game actually froze. Well, I'm gonna stop this stream and I'm gonna reboot the game. And I might not stream it. I'm going to go to sleep after I play this game for a little bit longer. And I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna start streaming again after I finish my coding classes, because I'm getting back after that. For some reason I just stopped. But I will get back to that. I'm going to be staying dedicated to completing that. Oh wow. Am I still streaming? Am I? I am. Oh yeah. So, when I get back, I'm gonna finish that monster truck. And I'm gonna get back to, I'm gonna build an upgraded Mini Cooper. And also, what else was I gonna say? I don't know. Oh yeah. So, whenever the reason I don't stream some of my creations, like the big ones, is because when they take me a long time to build, I have background music because for some reason my brain can't focus, but whenever there's like something happening in the background, also my brain's able to like hyper focus on just that one thing as long as there's some sort of background music. And it also constantly refreshes my mind. So like I'm constantly thinking on how I can improve it, make it better, thinking about ways that I can make it look better, thinking about ways that I can fit more components in, thinking about I think you get the idea, just in general betterness, if you could say that. Um, yeah, that's the reason you don't see me play this game that often. I mean, don't get me wrong, you see me play this game often, but it's with all the stuff that I've already built, and that's just because I didn't feel like streaming, and because I also wanted to listen to music in the back. It scared the crap out of me. Who's here? It's probably like one of my sisters. My heart stopped whenever they barked, like, just complete stop. Yeah, it's definitely one of my sisters. Um, yeah, I'm probably gonna reboot this game and get back to you guys, actually. So, later.